from the vault, high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking Catholic, the official podcast of the Catholic community of South Jersey. I'm Pete Sanchez, reporter, social media coordinator for the Diocese of Camden, and I'm not here. I'm sad. We do not have my compadre, my co-captain here, Mike Walsh, Director of Communications. He's under the weather, so Mike, love and prayers, man. Hope you feel better soon. Thinking about you, miss you. But we have a replacement. I don't know. You're your
replacement.
Should I say? Well, for the day, I don't know how to. Or you bring a total. Marianela Nunez, how are you?
I am well, thank you. I don't know if I will feel happy about being the replacement.
I shouldn't. No. You bring your own energy, your own class, your own style, your own grace. So you're.
Thank you, Pete.
I was trying to figure out how exactly to say that, and I apologize.
It's fine, Pete, but I am sure you will find the words because you're a great reporter. So. Let's think about that.
Thank you. Well, I'm already loving this podcast. No, but if you remember, Marianela was with us on the 100th podcast. If you listened to that or were there in person, that was a really fun time, wasn't it?
It was. So let me introduce myself formally. I'm Marianela Nunez, field consultant for the Latino Enrollment Initiative in the Diocese of Camden. And I come to visit the podcast sometimes at the vault.
Oh, well, and you work on my floor, but the floor below where we're recording right now. So it's great to have you here. How was your holiday?
It was great. We had a wonderful Christmas and have a new member of the family.
Oh,
not a baby.
What? No, not a what?
It's a puppy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, my daughter was asking for a puppy for like over a year, and my motherly love made me give up, and Santa brought a puppy home this Christmas. It was great.
What kind of breed?
It's a Chihuahua. She is 4 pounds, and her name is Polly.
Polly?
Yes.
What's the significance of Polly?
Well, my daughter just picked a name, and we went with it. So
Polly, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, and it's a lot of fun. It sounds like now they can be, any animals can be work, but they bring more pleasure.
Yeah, I was not actually a dog person, I would say, but I'm getting to love Polly, so that's really nice. New adventure. So. Oh,
I can't wait to see pictures of you and Polly and the family. Your daughter, I met her a few times, and I do have to say, the last time I saw her, we had a wonderful conversation in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the summer when we were at Cape May for the school's art show.
Yeah.
And her and I were just talking Spanish, and she was teaching me, and it was a lot of fun.
So she's 4 now and speaks even more. So.
Well, I'm a little rusty, so we need her back here.
Okay.
And but that's wonderful, and so thanks so much for joining us. And in 2019, we're recording our second episode of the year, and we got a few events coming up. Of course, we got the March for Life in Washington D.C. a week from today. It's every year. If you're not familiar, hundreds of thousands converge in Washington, D.C. On the anniversary of the Roe v. Wade Act, which legalized abortion. And this is a big stand up on the mall, all the way to Capitol Hill for life. And there'll be more about it next week. We do have some podcast. I don't want to say too much, but we will have more on that issue next week with March for Life. But on the diocesan webpage and in the Catholic Star Herald newspaper, there are buses. You'll see there's a whole list of buses in each county that are going down to the March for Life. So find that out. You can also find it on the Star Herald's Facebook page at Catholic Star Herald or Twitter, Cath Star Herald, and on the diocesan pages as well. So come on out, and I'd like to bring in Bill Watson, director. I'm sorry, Bill. What you work in schools? I'm going to butcher your title. I know.
Yeah, well, I'll save you from that. It's Director of Curriculum and Assessment.
Okay, I was about to say Director of Curriculum Development.
Yeah, that too. That'll work.
Too, okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Bill Watson.
Dr. Bill Watson.
Come on.
I am, oh my gosh, I am off my game with Mike not here. I apologize.
It's no problem. I answer to a lot of things.
So, just speak a bit about, you were telling me something. There's an initiative with the USCCB's doing right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing that I think might be, for anybody listening, the USCCB has the 9 Days for Life coming up. It's a novena for life in advance of the March for Life, and they've got you can sign up for an email to get the prayers every day, or they've got an app. But what I get it by text message. So anybody who's listening, can text 9 days. Just 9 days, no space, just 9, the number 9, then DAYS to 55000, and then you'll get the prayers through right through text message every day.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah, my wife and I have done that. We're excited to get started. I think the 9 days officially begin on Monday, so we're kind of looking forward to that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And
That's good.
just being from the Office of Catholic Schools, and Marianela knows this as well. Our school, we always have a contingent of students from our high schools that make the trip, make a long day trip of going to the march, and it's just a great formation experience for them, and they just bring so much energy to it, and it's really they're really alive with faith, and being able to kind of demonstrate in that way is just a great opportunity for them, and to give witness with their their faculty mentors and so forth. So I know that the parishes send buses and people go individually as well, but I'm not sure if everybody knows that our high schools go as well. They always have a set of students who go. So.
Well, and for
That's
those who cannot attend but would like to still join us in prayers, I think it's great to join the novena from the USCCB. So thank you for bringing that up, Bill.
Sure.
Yeah.
We also have the Life and Justice Ministries Diocesan Gathering. It's called Go Out to All the World. There's a flyer going around there. So if you look at it, it's Missionary Discipleship in Action through Parish Ministries. We have the CRS staff members, Rachel Malinowski and Jeff Wallace, who will co-facilitate a day-long workshop that teaches practical skills to parish ministries into how to identify, develop, and empower new leaders who are focused on promoting justice and Catholic social teaching. This would be free of cost, and there's going to be lunch provided. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday, January 19, 2019, at St. Charles Borromeo Parish. So if you would like more information, feel free to go to our website and find out about it. We expect a lot of you to attend.
Yeah, I think this should be a great event, and as Marianela said, all these events you can find on our website at camdendiocese.org. There's a calendar on the right-hand side, so just click on it, and you can find all these events and more.
If you're also ready to register, you can also email Martha Scoot. It's martha.scutte@camdendiocese.org, or call the number 856-583-2909.
Okay. Well, thanks, Marianela. And then the day after, that's January 19th, right?
Yes, it is.
So listeners can go to that. And where's that again?
It's at St. Charles Borromeo Parish.
Okay, Sicklerville.
Sicklerville, yes.
So you can go from Sicklerville all the way to Atco, because January 20th, that Sunday, there is it's great. Our friend Jeff Shields, who was on the 100th podcast, he's one of the people that's going to be part of this concert, coffee house, and art show at Christ the Redeemer Church in Atco, 318 Carl Hasselhin Drive. It's free admission, family friendly. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. at the Assumption Church Hall. There'll be music. You can see artwork, refreshments, and Jeff Shields and his band Forgotten Truth will be performing that night. I will be there. I'm excited about that. I really is that kind of would you is that your thing? Do you listen to music or art or?
I do, but it's sort of like with having 2 kids and now a puppy, I'm kind of limited in the events I attend, but I will have a special invitation as well. The 17th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service is coming up, Blood Drive, sponsored by the Diocese of Camden and Black Catholic Ministries and Cultural Diversity. So that's going to be Monday, January 21st, 2019, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be at the Sacred Heart Parish, St. Bartholomew Church. Did I say that right, Pete?
Yeah.
751 Keynes Avenue in Camden, New Jersey, 08103. So if you are ready to give blood, it's so much needed. Please feel free to join our blood drive for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay, that should be. Unfortunately, I'm unable to give blood. I used to be able to, but some stuff I can't. So I apologize. I would do it, but I think that's a great thing to do.
Well, for those who can, we really invite you to attend and register at the www.redcrossblood.org.
Okay, thank you. And one more announcement: we got the Winter Charismatic Retreat coming up, January 25th to 27th in Newfield at Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish Hall. Actually, I'm sorry, not Newfield, Landisville, 601 Central Avenue in Landisville, New Jersey, with Father Ariel Hernandez. This is January 25th through the 27th. It's going to be that Friday evening to the Sunday afternoon. Registration fee is $165 per person. That's a hotel room. That gets you a hotel room in the Hampton Inn on West Landis Avenue, and it's $230 per single occupancy hotel room, and $75 per person for just retreat and meals without the hotel. So if you're coming from the area and this is if you don't want the hotel, it's $75 per person. So go over. This is sponsored by the Camden Diocese's Catholic Renewal. And you can find the website at www.camdendiocesecatholicrenewal.org. There'll be talks, mass, music, praise, prayer, and fellowship. So come on out at the end of this month. And as I said earlier, Marianela, we have Dr. Bill Watson here with us.
Yeah.
And we're coming up, one of the things we didn't talk about. But,
so what are we talking about today, Pete?
Well, one of the things that we're thinking about is, one of the things we didn't talk about here was coming later this month is Catholic Schools Week.
Yeah, we're all excited about it, right, Bill?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the last week of January.
Yeah.
And for those who are may not be familiar with Catholic Schools Week, it is the 1 week out of the year when we really celebrate everything that Catholic schools are, and we celebrate the communities around Catholic schools. Not that we don't do that all the time, but we really take a little bit of time out from the schedule to do to kind of showcase Catholic schools, and at the same time give a lot of fun stuff for the communities to do.
Yeah, and what kind of stuff? Do you have an idea of what's planned in the schools yet, or what your office is doing?
A busy time of the year, certainly.
Yeah. So we have, our principals in our schools and the school communities are busy planning those things. The things that I tend to home in on are, not to play to type here, but the academic things. So this is the time of year when our schools will often have their spelling bees, they'll have their geography bees,
nice.
They'll have their assemblies with, I know one school down in one of the shore communities is having assemblies for all their students on environmental sustainability, which links in nicely to on Care for Our Common Home by Pope Francis's encyclical,
Yeah.
and Catholic social teaching, and they always make an intentional tie-in to that. One thing that I particularly like, one of our schools has a religion bee where their students are, it's like think of a spelling bee or geography bee or something like that has a religion bee. But
That's cool.
But they also do other things. That same school last year had showed a film. What was the film with the? I'm drawing a blank on it, and I saw it. It was about the African American women who helped NASA with the space program.
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures, yes, thank you very much. So they
Good,
showed
Pete.
they showed Hidden Figures and really talked about that in the context of in its historical context of what it means for us today, and that was part of Catholic Schools Week for them last year. So it was a really interesting kind of program and a dynamic. Our school, they do fun things too.
Like crazy days and like pajama days with an intention.
yeah. So they come in. Some schools will have their kids come in out of uniform for a day, or some will go so far as to have a pajama day, particularly for the younger kids. Some will. Many of them will have a good spirited competition between the faculty and the students. I know one school has a volleyball game where the 8th grade takes on the faculty. And another school that has a free throw contest.
They also do a lot of the celebrating parents, celebrating grandparents. It's kind of like trying to integrate the whole school community. Not only is the students, the principal, and the teachers and staff, but it's also family members. So it is really welcoming everybody to see what we are about in our Catholic schools and making it fun.
Yeah. One of the. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to jump in and say that you're right, Marianela. There are a number of our schools. We get a list of sort of what everybody's doing, and it's this huge grid. But a number of them have there's sort of a day for parents' appreciation and grandparents' appreciation, and then there's a teacher's day and a student day, and a focus on sort of recognition of. Catholic schools nationally and who Catholic schools are and the good that they do for society. But anyway, one of the things that a lot of our schools do is they have lunch with a parent or grandparent or someone significant in your life. Like they just sort of come in and have lunch with you at your lunch table, kind of in the normal. I don't know how they run that logistically, but it's. But it's great, again, it's just sort of something that's a little bit different, but and I think that difference allows the students, the teachers, the parents, the community to sort of highlight and celebrate with Catholic schools.
One of the things I remember at Old Queen of Heaven in Cherry Hill, when I went to school, was the grandparents' lunch, and that was just a lot of fun. My grandparents, and I think we coordinated, they lived about 2 hours away, but they would come down for it, and one of the memories, I think that this ties into that, but one of the memories I have my grandparents, their birthdays, if they would still be alive, their birthdays are coming up soon. And I think about them. And one of the things I remember is they would just drop me off at school when they were around. My grandfather would drop me off at Queen of Heaven. And we'd go in a station wagon listening to Frank Sinatra all the way and just that. And then they'd pick me up at the end of the day. And they're just that connection. And I love it how the community and it's just fun to, and speaking of the spelling bee too, I was actually in the Knights of Columbus. It always kills me because I was in the district final for the Knights and the spelling bee.
Oh, what word?
And it will go with me till my grave. It was the word lavender.
Lavender.
And I spelled it Lavendar. Instead of I know.
Instead of the A, yeah.
Yeah, it's.
You're not the only one. There's probably 85% of the American adult public makes that mistake. So you were just a kid, Pete.
See, I am so proud of myself because as an English learner, I knew that was an A. Like how come?
It killed me, but that kind of and do they still do the geography bee? I remember those.
Yes, well, we do, and there are different. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know if the Knights of Columbus does the geography bee. I know they have the spelling bee.
The schools I meant.
With the school, the schools do for sure.
Yeah.
I've been a judge of some of those, and your illustrious co-host Mike Walsh has also been a judge. He and I think, judged the same one time.
Oh my gosh,
so,
the geography?
Yeah. He was sort of the celebrity guest.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. I remember my dad. When I was in high school, there was a science bowl, and they asked my dad to come in, and he's a doctor, and he helped out, and I would sit in, and that's work to be a judge on those.
Well, it's important to say too that everybody who picks a Catholic school, like, they have so much value, like they respect it for what the school is. And so I think this week, Catholic Schools Weeks provide that, space to bring families together into our schools so that they know how much we value the fact that they picked us where they could have been everywhere else, so we understand that they make sacrifices every day to send their kids to our schools, and we know that they love us and value us, so we want to celebrate with them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would add too that's also a week of invitation. Not only invitation of grandparents and parents to sort of come into the school, but many of our schools will have their open houses, their winter open houses that same week. So it in a sense, it's sort of a showcase of the community. I mean, any time's a good time for an open house in our schools, let's be honest. But I think Catholic Schools Week has maybe just a little bit extra. So if there's anybody who's listening and would like to kind of get into one of the schools and kind of, if you have kids or grandkids who you might be considering sending to Catholic school, then look up the Catholic schools near you. They're very likely having an open house either that week or very close to it. This is kind of the season for open houses.
And as the diocesan webpage provides all of this information, we have our schools listed there and phone numbers and information to get in. They also have their own websites. If you're looking for Catholic schools in your area, Google it, you'll find it.
Yeah. And I know the Star Herald we're working on, and you guys, your department is a big help with us to get the Catholic Schools Week issue out in 2 weeks, I think. We get it out the week before, the Friday before. So your office has been very helpful with ideas and content, and I'm excited to,
People look out for this issue because there's something so special coming that I can't talk about, but we're looking forward to see it, coming next in the next 2 weeks. So we can't tell you what it is, but it's gonna be out there and it's gonna be fun. So
no, it will be, and it's funny we're having this conversation today because this morning I had a breakfast. About once a month I get together with a good friend of mine. We went to we calculated we've known each other 30 years. We started at Queen of Heaven in kindergarten, and now his son is 4 years old. He's my godson, and he goes to Resurrection Catholic as Resurrection Catholic is the merger between St. Peter Celestine School and Queen of Heaven School. So it's continuing that line because there are teachers from Queen of Heaven who teach at Resurrection Catholic. And my friend's not the only alumnus of Camden, of Queen of Heaven, who goes now to Resurrection. So, and from what I understand, my godson Michael loves Resurrection. He loves school. He's just and he's into the faith. He goes to Mass on Sundays, and he really... I'm very happy to hear that that Michael Jack, my godson, loves all that stuff, and it's just a testament of the schools in South Jersey. 30 years later, it's still going strong, and it's still making joyful hearts.
Bill, it's like talking about making joyful hearts, and not only that, but also making good citizens for our country. What can you tell us about our Catholic schools and how they prepare our students for being joyful and good citizens of the world?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's kind of the big picture and the practical pieces. One thing I can say that is very unique about our schools, and I sort of take it for granted, but maybe not everybody does, is that the joy of the faith is present all the time. It's not relegated to a small part of the beginning of the day, or one day a week, or one day a month, or something like that, or a special room in the school or something. There's our teachers are constantly giving witness to the faith to the for the students. I mean, even if something. I mean, think of like a 3rd or 4th grade classroom or something. Conflicts come up, right? There's a fight.
Sure.
Somebody trips somebody on the playground, or somebody takes somebody else's pencil, or
Somebody gets in a fight on a bus. Oh wait, that was me.
Yeah,
No.
right. Yeah, no, that never happens. No, not since you graduated, Pete. No. So, but the teachers then they talk about the gospel, and they talk about kindness to others, and they talk about the our call to be good to each other, to treat others and love the way that we'd like to be treated and love them. So I mean, I don't mean to be hokey with that response, but I think the fact that it's sort of the water that the Catholic school swims in a little bit, the teachers just don't have that limit. And a lot of them will say that about how valuable it is to them, that why they choose to teach in a Catholic school is because it is truly a Catholic faith community. It's not just about religion class, learning the 10 Commandments or the Beatitudes or the prayers or the Bible stories. All of that, we pass on the faith in that way too. That's a sort of the catechesis, we would call it, right?
Yeah.
But there's also evangelization. There's also coming to know Jesus through the relationship of the community, and that's the secret sauce, right? I mean, I think that's the thing that that is so attractive about our schools to the parents who choose them, to the students who, as young as age 4, get jazzed about being there and we just can't wait to go back. And that, I mean, he's not unique in that, and it's not only the 4-year-olds. So it's really exciting, to be a part of that.
I always think of you very highly, Bill, in terms of you're a scholar and you love academics and you love academic excellence, and you actually are charged in our Catholic Schools office with the responsibility of making sure our curriculum is up to date, is really innovative, and there's things there that are really beneficial for our students. How having kids in the school, and as a parent and also as a scholar, how do you feel the academics of our Catholic schools are going in 2019 as of now?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you some examples. I think they're great. I have the privilege and responsibility, I guess, of seeing all of the schools, right? And it's funny, this morning before this podcast, I was looking at some of our testing results, right? So standardized testing results. We take standardized tests just like everybody else does. And I was looking at a couple of schools from last year, and there was, I'll call them out. I look at Our Lady Star of the Sea, and again, these just happen to be the ones I was looking at. Mm-hmm. But Our Lady Star of the Sea in Atlantic City, and looking at their classes, and roughly about from last year to this year, and in fact it was less than a year, right? So it was about 8 months, because I'm sort of looking at the growth from one year to the next.
Okay.
This was, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade kids. About half, or a little bit more than half of them had a year and a half of growth in reading in those 8 months.
Wow.
Right? So you had half of your kids. And then at Bishop McHugh, I was looking at the same thing, same grade range, and I was looking at math, right? And so those kids had about half of them, more than a year, or about a year and a half of growth. So that's about double what you would expect in 8 months.
Incredible. And
this is from the beginning of the year to the beginning of the year. So it includes the summer, right? So when there's usually some fall off, right? Your skills kind of get lazy, right? Yeah. Or maybe you're not practicing. So, and again, I'm calling these two schools out not because these things are not true of the other schools, but they happen to be fresh in my mind. Earlier this week, I was looking at advanced placement test scores, and this gets a little bit complex. I'll try to make it as simple as I can. And when you're looking at advanced placement classes, they're like college level classes you take in high school, and generally speaking, a 3 is indicative of sort of a passing score, right? If you get a 3, then you've done passing college work. So one thing that the College Board, who kind of administers the advanced placement program, one thing they look at is, of all the students who take at least one test, what percentage of them get a 3 or higher. And so the New Jersey average across all high schools is, I think it's 27%. I think it might be 27.3 or something like that.
Above. Okay.
Yeah, but it's about a quarter, right? Get a 3 or above. So on at least one test. Our diocesan average for our high schools is 55%.
Wow.
So we're about double the percentage of kids who take at least one AP exam get a 3 on at least one of them. So that's, to me, again, that's really impressive. It speaks to the quality of the curriculum, the quality of the instruction, the dedication and quality of the teachers. I could go on and on about lots of different things that
Bill
we're doing.
is really passionate about implementing and learning about different learning models, and I would like you to talk a little bit about new models of teaching that we have been implementing in the diocese in the past couple of maybe years, months.
Sure. You sort of look at these things and you think, all right, well, this isn't happening by magic, right? You try as much as you can to tie success into what caused it so that you can spread it. And one of the things that we've been doing, and we've had kind of piloted out, and this is why I was looking at Our Lady Star of the Sea. They piloted a blended learning approach that's integrated with what's called a station rotation model. So if you're a second grader and you're learning reading, rather than having everybody sort of open up the reading textbook and read it out loud, and the teacher calls on a couple of kids with their hands up, and we know that's not the most engaging way to teach reading at that level, or any level really. Imagine you're that same second grader, and for 20 minutes you're with 3 or 4 other kids reading something that's really specific to your reading level with the teacher kind of at a table. And then you go to another location where you are practicing, maybe you're practicing grammar skills or vocabulary skills or something interactive with a computer, with a carefully selected blended learning a computer program, which that's where the blended comes in, right? Some of it's delivered by computer, some of it's delivered by people, so to speak. And then at another station, you're reading, and this is really, really great when you see kindergarten kids and first grade kids reading to each other. So they're reading aloud, right? So there's immediate feedback that if you don't know a word, you've got a friend there, and you ask them to help you out. And you sort of double the skills and the know-how that are available. And this is sort of in the primary grades where that's so important. They love to interact with each other, but they also, I think kids of that age are I don't want to call them, well, a lot of them are rule followers, right? They want to get it right, and so they look for help.
Of course.
And that's just a great skill to develop. So that's possible when you have this kind of station rotation model where you're kind of going around, changing it up a little bit, getting lots of different perspectives on lots of different ways to read in that case.
Yeah.
So that's what's really exciting about that is this semester we have 7 other schools that are going to pilot that. So they've all committed, and we're kicking that off next Friday, where
Cool.
7 more schools, and that's really what we're trying to do is to try some things out in focused ways, and then scale them up, so to speak, when they work well.
I have to say this has been one of the teaching approaches I've heard so many good things about it, and even from teachers that were somehow skeptical of it at the beginning, how are we going to do this logically? They have come around and feel how engaging this method can be for students, and how much fun the class is. Everybody is really doing something engaging, and they are working very hard, and it's not boring, and it captures their attention span so well that they're working for 20-25 minutes on one station, and then they go to another one, and it's sort of reinforcing all of these skills that they need. And I think it's gotten a lot of attention nationally as well as to this might be the new way.
Yeah,
I mean,
new frontier.
Yeah, I was going to think about if you're trying to get an upper body workout, right? You can't spend all your time working on your biceps, right? You got to work your back, you got to work your shoulders, you got to work other aspects of the arm, right? So you got to work your core. And that's really what it's about, right? You're sort of working all of these muscles, so to speak, from a reading standpoint.
You know what? You're talking about that. It reminds me of. Have you guys seen that there's a new show on NBC called The Titan Games with The Rock, the pro wrestler, movie star The Rock?
I'm sorry, Pete.
No,
but I have to say no.
Well, it's interesting because he talks about working different muscle groups for your backs, your legs, your arms. That would be cool to do in the schools, but not physically, but what you were saying, mentally, you have the Titan Games at the school where you go through, like, I guess that game Cranium is like that because you have the data head, for the data, the word worm for the people who are good with words. You have the creative cat for the people who can draw and sculpt, and then you have like the star performer who can act out. Mm-hmm. So maybe you would add a math thing in there. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's funny you should say that. One of the things that are, one of the education buzzwords today is, STEM. Everybody's talking about STEM education, right? So for those who either have heard that and don't know what it means or haven't heard it, it's intended to be the integration of science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's not S period, T period, E period, M period, right? So it's not, we teach science and we teach technology and we teach engineering and we teach math. I mean, that's sort of stating the obvious. The intent is the integration of these things, and to kind of carry on that analogy, Pete, the exercising of those muscles and those skills in towards solving a similar problem. We have a number of schools that are engaged in what we would call a STREAM program. So science, technology, STRE, engineering, arts, and religion and math. So, if you think about a problem to solve or something that comes up, and one of the things that you think about, real world problems don't just involve science, technology, engineering, and math. They involve, in many ways, artistic solutions, right? There's beauty in the world. So how is beauty integrated with scientific solutions to things? I mean, things like controlling the flow of water, or building a new building, or designing a park or something. And these are real examples of things that our kids are learning how to do and applying their skills. And building, again, off each other's strengths and helping each other to learn in the context of the teacher. The piece that I think and that I know only a religious school, and particularly a Catholic school, can do is the R in that, the religion. So you're kind of doing these things in the context of, just take, again, maybe you're building building a new highway, let's say, right, or planning to build a new highway in a town, right? This is the kind of scenario, and the obvious implications of science and engineering, and you need math to figure out how much of this you're going to need. And all that. But there's religion too. There's ethics. There's the morality, right? Do we have to take down parklands to do that? And should we? And how does that care for God's creation? What about the people who are going to do the work? Where will they come from, and what kind of wage will they be paid, and is it just? And so these are the kinds of things, kind of holistic thinking that problem-solving exercises in a STREAM classroom can do. And so we have a number of schools that are really doing that well right now. St. Mary's School in East Vineland comes to mind. Christ the King, St. Rose of Lima, Bishop McHugh. These are places, and there are others, and these are the ones that are sort of top of mind at the moment. But again, they're all doing this and really capitalizing. Again, it goes back to what Marianela asked. How are we preparing kids to be joyful citizens of the earth, so to speak, fully alive? And this is how. I mean, we're doing it in a way that only Catholic schools can, and the Catholicism, the religion components of what we do go beyond they certainly include catechetical instruction in the faith. They certainly and essentially include the sacraments. But they also include what's happening every day in the classroom. There's a difference in what's learned in the classrooms as well. The religion and the faith are not separate things that we do. Sometimes they're integrated into everything.
And I have to say, for parents who are out there, anybody who's listening, who's thinking, how do we develop our curriculum? How good it is, or are we paying attention to things that are being done in other schools that are not Catholic schools? And that really talks about, yes, we are, but we don't have to be sort of limited by what is being done out there. We can also add our religious component to it, and because our curriculum is basically integrated with our religion, we can work with that and make it even more enhanced for our students. So that's the beauty of Catholic schools, I think.
I absolutely. I mean, one of the things that's really great is this relationship between our office and the Office of Catholic Schools and the schools themselves. We don't, with a few exceptions, require that everybody do this program, for example. So, Resurrection School comes to mind, and Pete mentioned that Resurrection before. It's probably why it comes to mind. They've been doing a lot of work on reading and reciprocal teaching, which is kids teaching each other, under the leadership, of course, of the classroom teacher, and how that has shown great improvements in the students' ability to read at and above grade level. So we didn't prescribe that they do that, and they have the freedom and the latitude within a framework that we provide to pursue what their students need the most, right? So, you mentioned blended learning. That's not at every school, nor should it be necessarily. Same thing with the STREAM program. Not every school, nor should it be. So it allows for a real relationship with parents and with the parish community, and what is important to this community, and how do we deliver on that? Mm-hmm. And so we help the schools that have common interests to find each other and work together and find what other people have done, what other schools have done, and so they don't have to reinvent the wheel. But one of the great things, you're right, is that individuality, so to speak, and what the each school can do in light of what its students really need.
Yeah, I think with and that's something with the schools. So Marianela, getting back to your work with Latino Enrollment, is there anything? Can you speak a bit about that? What's going on this new year with that?
Well, we have a lot of Latino families now in our schools that are, being welcomed by our principals and students, and we're inviting to even more. At this point, I think I would really like to invite the families that are currently enrolled in our schools to become part of their school, to really be as involved as they can be, because that's what we want. We want integration in our schools. We want people to feel welcome, to feel loved, and that's what we are about. And I'm excited that I think we have done this successfully in the past couple of years, at least, getting our feet wet into the field. And there's a lot of work to be done still, but I think we have started with great success.
You have the madrinas in how many schools?
14 right
14.
Now. They're integrated at different levels in the role they play for their schools, but it's wonderful to see them doing things without me knowing, because then I know, wow, there's things happening, and I'm not directing them. So that's pretty cool to see. And a lot of them has grown into the roles, and these have become, such a good things for themselves and for the schools. Hear a lot of good feedback from teachers that have madrinas in their schools, and principals, and how they have developed that relationship with the school community and the parish community as well, which is really important. And I think that academically speaking, there's always challenges, but I feel that our schools are great places for Latino children to be, to enhance their education and, to be great learners and have success in the future. So that's all we want.
It's beautiful. And it seems a rare occurrence to have the two of you in the offices together. I mean, I think I'm busy out on the road. You two are always traveling, it seems like.
Oh, that's part. I mean, that's part of the fun part of the job. As much as we love this building and the the company that we keep on the floor with the communications folks. The best part of the work is being at schools, and the best part of the work is seeing the students and the teachers and the principals and helping them out.
Yeah. I think it's, I wouldn't have it differently. I like, we enjoy having office time, but at the same time, it's great to be out there with the students, with the families, looking at what our schools are doing, sort of like see them in action is one of my most rewarding things to do. So.
It keeps you honest too. So on your, for example, when you're in one way, it keeps you honest because it keeps you really grounded in reality, right? So you're not sort of just imagining things in theory. Kind of boots on the ground, what's happening.
Yeah, you're not just kind of in a bubble here.
Yeah. The second thing is it keeps me honest on my rosary. So if I'm driving down to Atlantic City, I'm either, I have to make a conscious decision. What am I going to do with the next, even if it's just, the next 20 minutes? Am I going to listen to mindless chatter on MLB radio on XM about which free agent is going to sign where and try to pick up a nugget of information when nobody knows anything new? Or am I going to pray the rosary? And so I can't look myself in the eye and say, oh, yeah, send me the mindless chatter, please. So it's a good way to get your rosary into traveling to all the schools.
Well, have you been praying for, praying the rosary and then being like, please, Bryce Harper for the Phillies? Like, that's another, can I ask you about that? I mean, we love having you on because you're like me. We always seem to talk Phillies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What is your hot take right now on the Phillies?
I would love to see them, and they say, oh, it's not going to happen, and they're risk averse, and all. I'd love to see them sign Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. I think they could do it. They could. It's. I don't think the luxury tax for the Phillies should be that big of a problem. It's if they need to go over it. There's tons of risk in signing two guys to long-term contracts, but. And I don't want to go down too in the weeds because I do really follow this.
Look at this.
There's basically the Phillies and the White Sox are the only two who've made serious offers to Manny Machado now, and the Yankees, but they keep signing other infielders. And so, and then with Harper, there's nobody stepping up except the Phillies and the Nationals. So, I don't know. Maybe they get both, Pete. Maybe we're. That would be crazy.
I feel we're in danger of losing you to a sports reporting agency right now.
I know nothing on my own. That's
a lot.
It's a hobby of mine, to read up.
I don't know. I have visions of Bill and I just one day not coming in. And it turns out we started like a Phillies podcast.
Yeah, right.
No, but
or if the Phillies don't get either one of them, then we might stay home in mourning for a day.
Oh, no. Well,
wow.
I guess my cynical Philly fan in general is that we won't get either one. I guess I'll believe it when I see it. But it was interesting. I read Ryan Howard had a take. Philly's great, I guess, is it safe to say? I don't know. He was great for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah. He dominated for 5 years there.
Yeah, one of the things I think one take he had is the Phillies should not, he thinks they should be mindful, maybe not go so hard for Harper and Machado, but, maybe get things in place for Mike Trout in 2 years. And I like that idea too. I don't know. Obviously it's I think, Mike Trout's an Eagles fan, but I don't know if, I was hearing a rumor he was a Yankee fan. I don't know.
I
could
don't
be
know.
completely
A bird in
wrong.
the hand is worth two in the bush.
You're leaving me out of
you-
this conversation totally.
What
I
do you-
don't know what to do.
Do you follow any sports, Marianela?
I don't really
No?
do that.
No?
I was on the plane on Sunday coming back from a conference in Tampa, and the Eagles won. And so the plane was like crazy, like, people were shouting, and I saw like, a father with like a son and daughter, and they were like, teens, and they were so excited, this whole family. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a cool thing to do. Why not? So I was like, well, my husband is not very much of a sports fan, so I'm not following. But I get jealous of how people get so excited about it.
Pete, you and I, I'm glad Marianela brought the Eagles up, because you and I may be the only two people in Philadelphia who could talk Philadelphia sports all day and not really mention the Eagles. Which
I'd
is
be happy not to mention
now. Yeah, now I'm not quite as extreme as you. I listened to that game, and me and the boys and I were, my sons and I were listening to it and sort of went crazy when they won too. But the Phillies are my first love for sure. But we should mention here on this podcast that there is an Eagles game this weekend.
Yeah.
The quest to their second Super Bowl in a row continues with a game on Sunday. So
in New Orleans, that's going to be. I will say, this. I shockingly have a hot take on the Eagles now. I think if they win on Sunday, they go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
This will be
absolutely.
Oh,
And I love
my
an underdog
goodness.
too, and they're definitely
they
underdogs.
are-
So
And then what did they say? Dogs are hungry. You want, you want a hungry
the
dog.
hungry
Run
dogs
dog.
run harder, right? To run faster,
That's
eat
what-
more. I don't know.
or something.
They do
but-
something. They win. They win football games. I think that's what it is.
And I need to talk to the chaplain, the Eagles chaplain. So I think it's Father Tom Barcelona still,
Barcelona, yep.
and see how he's doing. I need to. I don't know if he's going to Nolans here. You know, pronounce it Nolans or Norlands. I hear you don't pronounce it New Orleans.
New Orleans.
I don't know. Or did you see they have shirts New Folines?
Oh, jeez.
Instead
I'm
Nick
not
Foles.
surprised.
But I think we're coming close to the end of this. One last question
fair.
for the two of you, Marin. Sorry, I interrupted you. What?
No. I'm waiting for your question, Pete.
Well, first off, Marianela, thank you so much for coming on here, and a pinch, and Bill, thank you so much
you.
for we're always love having you two on, and you always have a home here, and
Thank you, Pete.
but I did want to ask 2019, any resolutions that you two have, or any goals that you like to share with our listeners?
My resolution for 2019 is the following. Just one. Do not talk about it all the time. Just do it. Just do it. And that's what I want to do this year.
More action, less talk.
Yes.
I think, that wouldn't be so bad for me either.
As we just talked for an hour about stuff, right? So it's,
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, Pete, I don't know if I really made any resolutions. To me, that's resolutions come up when you need them. So to just do it at just come up with a resolution at the new year. If it's a good time to make a change, then great. If it's not, then maybe I'll make a St. Patrick's Day resolution or something like that, depending on the time of the year. How about you? Anything for this year?
Well, just to just kind of be present more. I think that kind of is in the line with what you're saying. Don't, just make resolutions as they come. One of the phrases I remember going on a spiritual retreat years ago, the Discovery House in I think it's I think it might have been Ocean County. I don't know if it was around Hamilton and Batstow area. And I remember my friend was all, oh my gosh, what's going to happen on this retreat? And he was really psyching himself out. And one of my other friends turned to him and said, dude, just don't anticipate, participate. And I think that's a good thing to, for at least for me today. I can anticipate so much that's going to happen in the day, but if you think about participate, you're kind of just going with the flow, and you're letting things happen, and you're active in the day. Like I think about one of the phrases my mom always said is, when you go to a party, you be the party. You be the energetic. You interact with people. You don't worry about what people are going to think about you. You be the party. So I mean, that's just kind of be open and interactive and engaging with the present moment.
Sweet.
It's kind of, I don't know.
There it is. That's Pete's words of wisdom for the new year. South Jersey, be the party.
Well, I agree with those first two words. They were Pete's words.
Yeah.
I don't know anything after that. So, but
This has been Talking Catholic.
yeah, thank you, Marianela, Dr. Watson, and Marianela. Thanks so much.
Thank you for inviting us.